Hey there, it's Bobby Legs, and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches. And if you like videos like this, please do click that like button. It really does help out the channel, and it is free to you. Also, if this is your first time visiting my channel, please do consider subscribing. I love making videos about watches and talking about watches. And hey, I'm not perfect. I don't get everything right. So get off my back, man. Just kidding. Anyway, let's get right into it. Some of the new releases in the last couple days. And first, we have here the accessible Citizen Tsuyosa automatic, now in 37 millimeter, the brand's best-selling 1980s inspired watch, now available in a more compact unisex size. I've owned a couple of these. I'm a big fan of this watch. I had the when they first came out a couple years ago. Um, I had a green dial version of it. And it's 40 millimeter, I believe these were. And then a year or two ago, they came out with like a stamped guilloche that looked exquisite, and it was an exquisite timepiece. My only beef with the watch was the crown. Now, I don't mind the crown at the 4 o'clock position, but it was kind of tucked away, so you had to use the nail of one of your index finger on your right hand, or at least I did, to pull it out, and then use that same finger, like the back of my finger, to wind it, right, instead of using the two fingers that you're normally used to, your thumb and your index finger. Uh, Judging by the pictures, maybe it looks like the 37 millimeter version. That's not going to be so much of an issue. See right here, you have the 40, right? And it's tucked in, as you can see here. But maybe on these 37s, it's not that big of a deal because the case is smaller, perhaps. Anyway, this is a great watch. This is a great watch, and now it's in a smaller case diameter, so it's more unisex friendly, as they state here. This is the green dial version. This is the Tiffany blue version. My friend Wayben was like, "Are we done with Tiffany blue? Aren't we done with that? Have we moved past that?" And he's got a point there, but I mean, it still looks good. It still looks good on this watch. And yeah, the brush, I got the polished center links here, and it's 299. It's 299, and this watch looks far better than a $299 watch, in my opinion, and having it in person and owning it. 37 millimeter case diameter, 11.5 millimeter case thickness. Would have loved it was just a little bit thinner, and it's thicker just because I believe because you have a um, exhibition case back here on a movement that, let's be honest, um, we don't really need to see. I could see the attraction if you're new to the hobby or if you're a one watch person, that seeing the movement might be a novelty or a treat. But to sacrifice thickness on the watch, even though it's 11 and a half, it's not too bad. I think this watch would have been better served without the case back, or at least give us an option, right? At least give us an option for a thinner watch without the exhibition case back. Again, it's powered by the Miyota Caliber 8210. They're just going to call it the Caliber. The Citizen basically, manufactures the Miyota movement. It's called Miyota, I believe, when it's on other timepieces, not Citizens. They just call it the Caliber 8210. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you guys love to correct me when I'm wrong with things, and I appreciate that. Put a comment below. Anyway, minus 20 plus 40 seconds a day on this one. You get what you get, right? I mean, for the price point, and my experience with the accuracy, it wasn't that varied. It was maybe plus 10 seconds, but it wasn't bad. Permanent collection available for pre-order, so it hasn't been out yet, and it's coming out with some different colors. You know I think he does a little bit of a better job here displaying the renders of the colors. So you're going to have this like pink, you're going to have the green, and you're going to have this Tiffany, quote unquote, Tiffany blue. Okay, let's move on to G-Shock. And I don't do enough G-Shock news here. I mean, G-Shock is always coming out. I get the texts. I'm sure you do. I get the emails with all the collaborations and whatnot. And it looks like here, and I don't know if I'm late to the party here, but the G-Shock G-Still Fine metallic blends, cool metal with silicone wearability. After a decade of development, G-Shock is unveiling its new tough silicone in 6 new releases. So let's hear what that's about. under the stainless steel bezels featuring a mix of brushed and polished finishes is an expected glass fiber reinforcement resin case for the models. The bracelet was designed for flexibility, comfort, and strength while maintaining the silver and gold finishes underneath. That's achieved with a proactive urethane sheet over the vapor deposited colored finish, which increases abrasion resistance. In short, there's a less risk of scratching the finish of your silicone band. So that's the band. Um, let's see, does it talk about it a little bit more here with the steel bezels? They give you a hint of experience you might get with a higher price full metal series, but with the debut of the tough silicone band in place of the metal bracelets. Okay, so it's mostly in the band. Okay, I'm cool. I mean, big fan of G-Shocks. These watches range from 240 to 300 depending on the model and the color. Um, yeah, so this is the basics here. Typical fare when it comes to the sizing of the or the specs of the squares in general. Um, Again, 240 with a steel rectangular, 280 with a gold tone, 260 with the steel octagonal, and 300 with a gold octagonal. Okay, I don't do enough G-Shock news. I should step it up when it comes to that. And finally, let's talk a little Yema. Yema releasing new versions of their Yema Super Swiss edition signals the return of the Salida movements. They've been focusing the last couple of years on their in-house movements, and it looks like this is just more of nothing drastically different here with the model, except for a movement switch and maybe a philosophy change. So the shift allows they're going back to the Salidas with this one, right? So the shift allows Yema to keep its range accessible and lets the brand watchmakers focus on producing its French manufactured calibers. These are the in-house calibers, which will be used for more high-end watches. So looks like they will be stepping up their game with some of their high-end watches and focusing use of the in-house caliber movements on that, switching to the Salidas for, I guess, the rest of their lineup that they have currently. Yeah, Yema switching it up. Okay, so the price point here on these are going to be 1,190 euro. At the Salida 200. Like I've said this before. I'm not a really big fan of the Salida 200. I've had experience, and it comes from experience with a couple of watches that I've had with it. Just the movement, it just seems to get a little grindy when I'm winding it. Some issues when the movement skips, and it's happened to. It's not just isolated to like one watch. It's happened to a couple of them. So anyway, maybe I've just had a bad luck with them, and maybe your experience is different. The 300 is an excellent movement by Salida, but the 200 I've had some issues with. So you're looking at 39 millimeter case diameter, just under 14 thickness, and 47 lug to lug, or 41, 13, and 49 on these. White, beige, black, blue matted dials on these Superman Yemas. Well then, anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Please put a comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.